Socrates once said, "I decided that it was not wisdom that enabled poets to write their poetry, but a kind of instinct or inspiration, such as you find in seers and prophets who deliver all their sublime messages without knowing in the least what they mean." I can now fully realize this quote, for the tragic events that surround our country will make prophets of us all in the end. But today I would like to recognize a truly unsung American hero, comedian, political activist, Bill Hicks. This comedian had the balls, which subsequently not one comedian today has, to tell it how it really is. How controlled, censored, and apathetic we as a nation and as individuals have all become. He was censored on the mainstream and took his thoughts and ideas to public access. We can only imagine how far his message would have gotten if he had not contracted cancer at such a young age. Here's the great Bill Hicks from a 1993 interview on public access television.
The point I'm making is about the idea of freedom of expression, and I believe that that there's this agenda in mainstream media, and I think it's fairly easy to back this up, to keep people stupid, docile, and apathetic, and therefore the elite who own these corporations and the families that own the corporations, even fewer people, their agenda is to keep us stupid and apathetic. That's why I love public access. And again, thanks for having me on.
Oh, thank you for coming out.
I appreciate it. As far as the Letterman deal went, again, the material I had prepared was approved and reapproved by a segment producer. I performed the show on October 9th, Friday. The show was filmed and taped, and when I got back to the hotel, I was given a call by the producer saying we have to excise your entire segment from the show. When I asked him why, he said, "CBS, I love this, standards and practices." Don't you love these networks have standards? Yeah, well, what is it, when you're airing beer commercials 24 hours a day with half-naked women with the beer in their crotches? What standards do you have exactly? Anyway, they deemed the material unsuitable for the audience. In other words, here's what they're saying: you are a contemptible herd. You will not be able to comprehend these are jokes or ideas simply. That's all they are. And you, the contemptible herd, must be kept from one man stating his ideas, because if one man does it, well, that might inspire other people to go, you know what? I have some interesting ideas too, which I've never had confirmed. But I'm not afraid to state them anymore. They want you to be a docile, apathetic herd of consumers, of corporate products. That's what happened on Letterman. No sour grapes on my part. Again, I think it's rather a badge of honor. On the very same stage, Elvis was censored from the waist down. I was censored entirely. See, what they do is they kowtow to a minority that's very vocal. Reasonable people don't write letters. Reasonable people have lives. Reasonable people know it's just a joke. Reasonable people know it's just TV. They know they can change the channel or they'll wait and something else will come on.
Sure.
See, reasonable people don't get it active. It's these minorities, these fundamentalists who are totally organized, and they are a minority, and who are the ones trying to set this agenda for America. And but come to find out, Dave, you know, I guess 14 million was his price. You know what I mean? Everyone has a price, they say.
Oh.
The footage that's been running on Access about the Waco debacle, and I don't know how many of y'all have seen it. Apparently it runs quite often here. But what it shows, and I've seen it very clearly, and if it's an actual representation, is what you see is a Bradley tank shooting fire into the compound, which is exactly what is against the party line, which is that they shot tear gas into the compound and the Branch Davidians started the fire. Now what this implies is, A, if in fact this footage is real, and we're about to show it for you, A, the FBI, the ATF, Janet Reno, up to Clinton are liars and murderers, and if they had any honor whatsoever, they would commit harikari if they were true human beings. And B, the real implication is why no mainstream media has picked up on this footage and thought that it was news. This tells you something about America and the state of freedom that you live under. Every mainstream media news source told us that they launched tear gas in order to convince the moms and the kids to get out. This, meanwhile, as you can see, they're destroying the compound which the kids were inside of. How they knew that they weren't going to run a kid over, I don't know. Anyway, God, I wish we could take these callers, man.
You want to take these callers?
Yeah. But anyway, let's think of what that implies. The fact that no one has picked up on this news story except public access, A, and B, that the ATF and FBI are liars and murderers, and if they had any honor, if they were truly human beings, they would commit suicide and explain their role in this murder and mass murder of innocent children and women.
Yeah. I'm sure.
Why it's not newsworthy, you tell me. You call me and tell me why that's not on the news.
What'd you think about that Waco footage? You see that fire?
Yeah, finally. I'd never seen that before. I saw most of his access show, you know, where he was in Waco, but I didn't catch that scene. That's the first time I'd ever seen that footage.
Yeah, isn't that wild? That happened to come out here after we went to Waco. I have nothing to do with the production of that.
Okay.
That's just something that's been running on access.
Let's make that perfectly clear.
Perfectly clear.
But I do agree with you. We have the right to believe what, you know, do what they tell us. That's it.
That's it.
You know.
But that's not true. That's what they want you to think is true. The reality is we are the fucking government. We are the fucking people. And I think there's going to be a change. We might go through hell for a couple more years because these fundamentalist Christians are fucking doing their agenda and they're very organized. But the reality is the majority of people are fucking reasonable and fucking intelligent, and we don't have a fucking voice, and fuck them. I'll be the voice, at least for my little part.
But anyway, hopefully it'll get to the point where you can speak and get paid obnoxious amounts of money to speak at universities.
I would love to do that, and the few universities that I've played, it has been phenomenal because I believe, I'm sorry, I have all these beliefs, but there is a huge audience of disenfranchised people who look at mainstream entertainment and pull their hair out, other than an exception of a few shows. The 90% of it is puerile scat propaganda from the corporations to make us stupid. And when I go to the colleges, the few that I played here, the reaction is really exciting. And as far as the smoking and encouraging me, I appreciate it, Satan. Thanks for calling.
The world is like a ride at an amusement park, and when you choose to go on it, you think it's real, because that's how powerful our minds are. And the ride goes up and down and round and round. It has thrills and chills, and it's very brightly colored, and it's very loud, and it's fun for a while. Some people have been on the ride for a long time, and they begin to question, is this real, or is this just a ride? And other people have remembered, and they come back to us, and they say, hey, don't worry, don't be afraid, ever, because this is just a ride. And we kill those people. Shut him up. We have a lot invested in this ride. Shut him up. Look at my furrows of worry. Look at my big bank account and my family. Has to be real. It's just a ride. But we always kill those good guys who try and tell us that. You ever notice that? And let the demons run amok? But it doesn't matter because it's just a ride. And we can change it anytime we want. It's only a choice. No effort, no work, no job, no savings of money. A choice right now between fear and love. The eyes of fear want you to put bigger locks on your door, buy guns, close yourself off. The eyes of love instead see all of us as one. Here's what we can do to change the world right now to a better ride. Take all that money we spend on weapons and defense each year and instead spend it feeding, clothing, and educating the poor of the world, which it would many times over, not one human being excluded, and we can explore space together, both inner and outer, forever in peace. Thank you very much. You've been great. I hope you enjoyed it. London, you're fantastic. Thank you. Thank you very much.